how much power is consumed when creating.
Yeah, so we were talking to some lab growers recently when we were in Hong Kong, and they were telling us for them, and it's
sure it varies a little bit.
Sure, that varies, what have you, but for them, they were saying on average they were using 520 kilowatts of power to create a piece of rough that would then cut a 1 carat polished stone. So let's assume you're losing half. So to create, give or take, so let's say it's taking 520 kilowatts of power to create a 2 carat rough piece of diamond that you can then cut a 1 carat polished piece of rough from. 520 kilowatts of power. So
how much is that?
How much is that? So I know because we've just had our power bill. So so we're a family of 5 that we use in summer. Okay, so we've had our aircon pretty much going all day, every day.
Yeah.
And we're averaging 42 kilowatts per day.
20 years ago, actually, how long have you been married?
30
years ago, lab-grown diamonds. If you weren't in the trade, if lab-grown diamonds were a thing back then, would you have bought your wife an engagement ring with a lab-grown diamond?
It's hard to say because I'm really tainted anyway because I'm in the trade.
Yeah.
But no, absolutely not. Again, buying an engagement ring is something really special. It's sentimental, and it's something that for me anyway, if I was making, for me with an engagement ring, it's something that, your wife wears, and then it's handed down to your kids if you have.
If you have what?
If you have kids, it's handed down to your kids. So if you hand it down to, you want to hand it down to your children if you have children. And so why would you buy something that's been made in a laboratory? There's nothing special.
No romance.
There's zero romance about something that's been made in a laboratory.
Yeah.
And an engagement ring is a special ring.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand why. I don't understand why you would do that. It's a special piece, so it just doesn't belong coming out of the laboratory.
No.
Zero romance.
Yeah, a lot of the companies are calling them real diamonds and like making it sound that they're the same, like luxury product. That it is a diamond, but they're associating it with a real diamond.
Yeah.
And it's just...
It's not.
No.
It's almost false marketing, and I don't,
maybe not false, but just...
misleading.
Yeah.
It's misleading marketing.
It is misleading.
And especially, like I said, when you go and you see, and you see all across social media videos of
bigger stones, they're just being normalised everywhere.
They are being normalised. Yeah. So no, it's I think it is very misleading.
Yeah.
And I think if people genuinely knew the value of lab-grown stones right now at wholesale levels, I think they'd probably think they think twice.
Yeah.
But we still just have this inflated price point in the market. So if you're actually doing some research and you find a ring in a local store that's a 3 carat lab-grown diamond, and what's the price of a 3 carat lab-grown diamond sitting in jewelry stores at the moment? Approximately $6,000 or $7,000.
Yeah.
And then if you were to go to a website and you see a 3 carat stone that's being let's say it's being listed for $2,000 for the stone.
Yeah.
Is there really $4,000 worth of, or $4,000 or $5,000 worth of ring in some of these rings that we're seeing? No, not really. So, I think over time, I think it's going to become more and more apparent the actual wholesale cost of lab-grown stones, and then people become a little bit more educated and they can understand that they really are very low in value.
I think they can charge such a premium because they liken it to a real diamond. So your 3 carats are in the 100,000s.
Yep.
And then a 3 carat lab, it's like, it's only $5,000.
Yep.
But it's really not worth.
But it's not. But it's not even worth that.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And that's the point moving forward. How do you, like, if prices have dropped 90% in the last 5 years, what's the next 5 years?
Yeah. But natural diamonds too have dropped a little bit off recently.
Natural diamonds have dropped in price to try and combat
the lab-grown
market. The lab-grown market. Yeah. Because the lab-grown market is taking away
such a share of the market. Yeah.
So, De Beers have been reducing the cost of their rough to try and stimulate natural diamonds again.
I think once they find the real value of what it's worth, there'll be less of an attraction to it. Because even on social media, I used to see like people running around interviewing people on the street, and they'd be like, they'd have a diamond tester, like they could tell a diamond, a moissanite, and a cubic, and then like a little diamond test, and it'll, like if it came up a moissanite, they'd be like a little bit embarrassed because it's like it looks the same, but they'll have one for lab-grown diamonds probably, and they'll go around testing everyone, and I think they do have them for lab-grown. Do they actually? Yeah. Like a little machine.
I think so. I think they've miniaturized them.
What do you think the future is for
you know what? For me, I'm just too biased. So for me, they're not. There's no value there anyway. But who knows? I think it'll reach a point where there will be a cost to them.
Yeah.
Because there will be a manufacturing cost to them as to how much. You'll hit that line that. Well, if we're using 520 kilowatts of power to make something, there's a power cost.
Yeah.
And then when you take that out and you cut and polish it, there is a cutting and polishing cost.
Yeah.
So summing up on our thoughts on lab-grown stones, what does $10,000 buy you in a nice champagne, in a nice Argyle certified champagne color? You're looking at carat and a half or something like that in a really nice champagne diamond that's been mined here in Australia from the Argyle mine for the same kind of value as something that's being made in a machine. It just I think it just comes down to education and just understanding what you're
actually purchasing,
what you're actually buying, and trying to just look past some of that misleading information that's been given out.